fans.
Buckle up. We're switching gears.
Yeah.
On his request today.
Think of us as your AI assistants here to help the team prep for a potential deep dive.
Precisely, we've been combing through listener suggestions, and one case just keeps popping up.
Oh, really?
The Betty and Barney Hill incident.
Ooh, this one's a classic. A 1961 road trip. An interracial couple.
A strange light in the sky.
Bam, missing time alien encounters, the whole 9 yards. It's like the OG alien abduction story.
It really did set the stage for so many tropes we see in abduction narratives today.
Right.
Medical exams, missing time, those big-eyed gray aliens. Fascinating stuff.
Okay, so for anyone who hasn't heard of this case,
What's at the scene?
Betty and Barney Hill, a couple from New Hampshire, were driving home from their honeymoon in Niagara Falls.
Late night drive.
It was a late night drive, pretty remote.
Perfect for a spooky encounter.
Right. As they drove through the White Mountains, they noticed a bright light in the sky that seemed to be following them.
Now, Barney, being a World War II vet and a bit of an airplane enthusiast, initially thought it might be a satellite or a plane, but the way it moved erratically and silently just didn't add up.
Yeah, they stopped a couple of times to observe it, and at one point, it even hovered right above their car.
Yeah.
Can you imagine you're on a romantic honeymoon, and suddenly you've got a UFO playing tag with your Chevy?
It gets even wilder. Barney, apparently a brave soul, actually got out of the car with his pistol to get a closer look.
Oh, wow.
But whatever he saw, it spooked him enough to send him running back to the car.
Smart move. So they take off, but they hear these weird beeping sounds, and the next thing they know, they're miles down the road with no memory of how they got there. Talk about a honeymoon detour.
That missing time is a key element in their story and a recurring theme in many alleged abduction accounts.
Yeah.
It adds another layer of mystery and begs the question, what happened during those lost hours?
And as if the missing time wasn't weird enough, they started noticing strange things after they got home.
Their watches had stopped working, there were shiny circular marks on their car, and Barney's shoes were stuffed up as if he had been running through rough terrain.
And we can't forget Betty's dress. It was torn, and there was this weird pink powder on it that nobody could identify. Definitely not something you pick up at Niagara Falls.
These physical details, coupled with their increasing anxiety nightmares and inability to sleep, suggested that something profoundly unsettling had happened to them.
So they're freaked out, right? They have missing time, weird physical evidence, and they're both having nightmares.
Well, at first,
What do?
they tried to brush it off. They reported the strange light to the Air Force,
Okay.
but downplayed the weirder details.
Probably didn't want to end up on some government watch list, right? Attention all UFO enthusiasts, please report to the nearest black helicopter.
Well, they were concerned about being ridiculed,
Right.
especially given the social climate at the time.
Yeah.
Remember, they were an interracial couple in the early 60s, and that alone brought its own challenges.
That's true. It makes you wonder how much their experience might have been shaped by the societal anxieties of the time. Were they more likely to see threats to interpret things through a lens of fear and suspicion?
It's a fascinating angle, but their distress became so severe that they eventually sought help from a psychiatrist, Dr. Benjamin Simon.
Oh, so
And it's under hypnosis that things get really interesting.
hypnosis, the ultimate truth serum, or a recipe for false memories. I'm always a little skeptical of hypnosis, to be honest, but what did the Hills reveal under those swinging pocket watches?
Their repressed memories came flooding back.
Oh, wow.
And they described being taken aboard a disc-shaped craft. They were separated, examined by these strange beings.
The classic alien medical exam, did they get probed? Everyone wants to know.
Well, Betty described having a needle inserted into her abdomen, which she interpreted as a pregnancy test, and both of them described the beings as having gray skin, large black eyes, and communicating telepathically.
Ah, the iconic gray aliens. Did they ask for our leader or offer any intergalactic real estate deals?
No word on that, but their descriptions would go on to heavily influence popular depictions of extraterrestrial.
Right.
In movies, books, you name it.
It's like their experience became the template for alien abductions. But were they really abducted, or was it all just a product of their imaginations fueled by stress and hypnotic suggestion?
That's the question that continues to fuel debate to this day.
Yeah.
Dr. Simon, while believing in their sincerity, was cautious. He felt that Betty's vivid dreams might have influenced Barney's recollections under hypnosis.
So a classic case of he said, she said with a dash of extraterrestrial intrigue. But there's more to this story, right? There's this whole thing about a star map.
Ah, yes. Betty's star map, while under hypnosis, she drew a diagram of what she claimed was a map shown to her by the alien leader.
Wow.
Indicating the location of their home star system. Some researchers have even tried to match it to real star systems, with some suggesting it resembles Zeta Reticuli,
Wait, so they're telling me someone randomly drew a map of a specific neighborhood in a distant city they've never been to that's either an incredible coincidence or, well, pretty mind-blowing.
It's certainly a tantalizing piece of the puzzle. So we've got missing time, physical evidence, vivid memories recovered under hypnosis, and a possible star map. What's the Mystery Quest team going to do with all of this?
So we've got this incredibly detailed story, but is it a close encounter of the fourth kind or just a really good campfire tale?
That's where things get tricky. We have to weigh the evidence, but also be aware of the pitfalls,
Right.
like you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Hypnosis isn't a foolproof method for uncovering the truth. It can be influenced by suggestion, leading to false memories.
Like that time I was hypnotized and convinced I was a chicken, I wouldn't stop clucking for a week. Embarrassing.
Perhaps not the best example, but the point is,
Okay.
we have to approach those hypnotic recollections with a healthy dose of skepticism.
Okay, fair enough. But what about the physical evidence? The car, the clothes, the weird pink powder? Surely that points to something out of the ordinary, right?
It's intriguing, for sure.
Yeah.
But even physical evidence can be misinterpreted or explained by more mundane events.
Okay.
Could those marks on the car have been caused by a tree branch scraping against it?
Uh-huh.
Could the pink powder have been some kind of pollen or industrial residue? We need a scientific eye on this.
So you're saying we shouldn't jump to conclusions even with the strange physical details?
Exactly. And let's not forget the psychological aspects. The Hills were under a lot of stress, both from the incident itself and from the societal pressures they faced as an interracial couple.
Right. Imagine the weight of that in 1961. It's totally plausible that stress could manifest in some pretty unusual ways.
Absolutely. And then there's the phenomenon of sleep paralysis, which can explain the feelings of terror, the hallucinations, even the sense of being held down. It's a real thing, and it can be absolutely terrifying.
So are you saying the Hills might have just had a bad dream? A really, really vivid and shared bad dream?
It's a possibility, though, an extraordinary one. But remember, we're dealing with the extraordinary here.
Yeah.
The Betty and Barney Hill incident remains a fascinating puzzle full of compelling pieces, but no definitive solution.
And that's what makes it perfect for Mystery Quest.
Indeed.
We need your help, listeners. Should we send the team on a full-fledged investigation into the Betty and Barney Hill incident? Will they find concrete evidence of an alien encounter, or will the mystery deepen?
Head over to www.loose.mysticstous.com and cast your vote.
Let's see if we can finally unravel this cosmic enigma.
Or if it will remain unexplained.